Thanks to ExpressVPN for once again sponsoring today's video. Now, we live in a time where almost everything we do is on the internet. Online gaming with friends, handling business accounts, paying bills, etc, etc. In these times, it is crucial to keep your privacy intact. The cyberworld's full of potential risks. Your ISP provider can monitor your activity and sell your data to advertising companies. Hackers on public Wi-Fi can steal your personal info and open up bank accounts using your name. That's actually happened to a family member of mine some time ago, and I never knew half of those swears existed. ExpressVPN ensures your safety, and it's very simple to use. I'll demonstrate. Just open the app like so, you click connect, and now you're protected. Just like that, just as easy on the browser version too. For less than $7 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee, ExpressVPN is the market-leading choice for VPN security. You get the fastest speeds compared to other VPN providers, server locations in over 94 countries, giving you plenty of options, and support for just about every device: Windows, Mac, Android, iOS, Linux, your router, enough to make you want to go, "Whoa, hello." I'm more than happy to use this service as someone who spends a lot of time online doing work, playing games, and watching movies. And did you know with ExpressVPN you can unblock services like Netflix to watch movies not available in your region? Or tune into YouTube videos that were once blocked in your country, assuming their algorithms haven't already buried it in irrelevance. Anyway, ExpressVPN helps keep my connection stable, masks my IP address to prevent security attacks, and encrypts my data to keep everything nice and safe from predatory websites. Take back your privacy today and find out how you can get 3 months free by clicking the link in the description below, expressvpn.com/Somecallmejohnny. Take back your privacy today with ExpressVPN. Alright, I'm just about ready to head into the next set of marathons, but here's another game I've been meaning to get into since this past June. Now, Crash Bandicoot N.Sane Trilogy remains one of the best remasters of some of my favorite platformers on the original PlayStation. If you still haven't done so, I recommend you pick these up if you're at all interested in the orange marsupial's humble beginnings. The question afterwards was, okay, so were they going to do the same for Crash Team Racing? Okay, the immediate question afterwards is whether they're going to do the same for Spyro, and the answer turned out to be yes, so happy for Spyro fans. But late last year, the Crash Team Racing remaster was revealed, titled Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled. And of course I was totally on board. The original on the PlayStation remains one of my favorite kart racers in the genre. It was a damn great adaptation of everything that made Crash Bandicoot what it was at the time, perfectly converted into a kart racer with fun mechanics and tight control. An A+ swan song for Naughty Dog developed Crash games. This time we had developer Beanox to thank for this endeavor, though the graphical aesthetic is very much a continuation of what Vicarious Visions created for the N.Sane Trilogy 2 years prior. No matter the case, and it goes without saying, Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled is one of the best looking kart racers on the market today. I mean, this goes beyond just simple graphical fidelity at this point. The models are wonderful, the sound design is fantastic, and the character animations are superb, giving every single one of these racers personality that bursts through all the seams. The last 2 generations of gaming have done wonders in bringing new life into the classic mascot platformer. The game quality varies greatly, but the visual flair is just rocking. And the soundtrack's been given some touch-ups as well, and at an ear's glance it all sounds fine, although much like my original opinion on CTR, I don't remember much of the soundtrack in the first place because I never really paid it much mind and missed all the rubber burning and missile tossing. Still, the effort should be commended, much like the graphical update. But Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled is more than just a straight remaster, it's thrown in a shitload of bells and whistles. As far as the previous content goes, you can now freely swap characters during adventure mode. Before, you were only allowed to choose one character, and that's who you were stuck with throughout the whole thing, but now you can pause at any time in the whole world and choose someone else. And it's good to see that Aku Aku and Uku Uku got proper lip animations this time instead of whatever the hell you call this from the PS1 game. You're now also capable of changing a character's engine class. If you always like playing as someone like Coco, a normally balanced type character, but wish she had the stats of a heavy speed-based character like Tiny Tiger, you can do that now. Every kart racer can be what you're comfortable with statistically, allowing you to try out different kart variations with your favorite character. And that's really cool. I was giving Engine a try on one track who specialized in acceleration, and I felt pretty good throughout using him, so I'm trying out the acceleration type with everyone, and this game makes that possible. You can now also select different difficulties to suit your needs, but shoosh, is it me or is the AI a lot harder in this game than previously? On medium difficulty, I'm barely winning races in the first area. The computer opponents don't let up, and good god, missiles are everywhere. And not helping me are the slightly different controls, and I kinda figured this would be the case since I had similar hurdles to cross in the N.Sane Trilogy. Drifting, boosting, and trick jumps don't quite feel the same as before, and it took some getting used to. Well, in regards to jumping, I'm still sort of struggling if I'm being real. I don't know, man, there were way too many times where I hit the jump button before I drove off of a ramp to get extra height, but the game just wouldn't register the jump, and I remember this being no problem in the PS1 game. I never played Crash Nitro Kart before, but apparently this game brings back that game's boost mechanic where, in addition to getting the boost of speed by hitting the power slide button at the right time during a drift, you can get a bigger boost of speed if you press the button right before the drift meter maxes out. If you take too long, you suffer from some burnout and get shit, but do it right, and you blast off with extra speed. It adds a nice little risk versus reward element, but I personally found it too distracting to keep my eyes on the drift meter to get the maximum boost whenever I made a turn. If I can get away with it, then I go for it, obviously, but I like to keep my eyes on the road while racing. I stare at this for too long and suddenly I'm running into a TNT crate, chemical beaker, or bottomless pit. So after a bit, I switched from medium difficulty to easy to see how things changed, but switching to easy mode sort of overfixes the problem because now the AI is borderline brain dead and I take first place with no problem. It's good for completing challenges and unlocking other characters and trophy hunting, but it's kinda dull. So if you're willing to put up with it, I recommend sticking with medium difficulty. Quality of life updates aside, it's still adventure mode at its core, warts and all. I was never big on the extra challenges with exception to the time relics because these, I felt, were always a natural expansion to the game's challenge. Can you get through the track fast enough while collecting as many time boxes as you can? It's like the classic time trial challenge with the added Crash Bandicoot gimmick. The CTR tokens where you have to collect the 3 letters and still come in first place, combined with the issue I have adjusting to the game's new jump physics, these were especially frustrating to nab, and the crystal challenges, I mean, I always hated these. They want you to nab 20 crystals in a boxed arena in a go-kart. In a platformer, sure. In a kart, hell no, it's way too imprecise. That feeling when you barely skim by a crystal and don't pick it up, I'm pretty sure I would have left permanent dents on my controller if I continued on. But as before, adventure mode is just one aspect of the game. If I just want to jump into a track of my choice in arcade mode or race in a set of 4 with the gem cups, I can still do that, and Nitro-Fueled goes above and beyond in not only remastering every level from the original, but also adding in every stage from Crash Nitro Kart, as well as adding a couple of things from Crash Tag Team Racing. You know, Vicarious Visions adding Stormy Ascent and later a completely new level in N.Sane Trilogy was an awesome bonus, and for the developers to add all of this, on top of giving us additional courses and extra characters throughout the game's lifespan and free updates, gives the game amazing value, and for what it's worth, I quite enjoyed my time in the Nitro Kart courses. I like how you can break certain boxes and activate booby traps for other racers, making their experience miserable. I also enjoyed the broader track designs compared to the original CTR. That made them easier for me to jump in and learn. Only exception to this is Clockwork Wumpa. Fuck this stage, it's almost nothing but 90-degree turns and awkward gotcha moments. Yeah, I deserve that low place, but I'm not gonna learn this stage, fuck it. But on top of local multiplayer, there's also online, which I know is kind of a given in today's age, but it's new for Crash Team Racing and thus should be highlighted. You're gonna get your ass whooped, just saying right now. Now, finding a game to join was never a problem, but you're likely going up against folks who poured blood and sweat into memorizing course design and getting the most out of their character builds. I never had a chance, but this ended up being one of the most lucrative ways to earn Wumpa coins from what I observed, at least compared to playing in adventure mode in arcade where I swear it's a fucking drip feed. But alright, let's address that elephant in the room, shall we? Okay, so no matter which mode you play, you earn these Wumpa coins for completing races. You earn more from scoring higher positions, and I think the length of the track has something to do with it as well. I don't know, sometimes the numerical values seem all over the place. This game has something called the Pit Stop, a store where you can spend those Wumpa coins on new characters to unlock, new decals for your vehicle, and there's even bundles where you can get multiple things at once at a discount. If you can call this a discount, you tell me. It's a very Fortnite-esque design, aesthetically and structurally, completely intentional by Activision because of course it is. Fortnite is still one of the most played games in today's environment. And just like that game, there is an option to invest real-life money to buy bundles of Wumpa coins if you don't feel like grinding for hours on end playing the game you already spent money on. And that right there is why I feel this is such a big sticking point. Now, I've covered a couple of games that have microtransactions built in, some I even recommend it, like Overwatch. I don't know if it's obvious, but I also play a lot of Final Fantasy XIV, and that game has an online site where you can purchase special glamour, seasonal outfits, emotes, and mounts that I can say I bought my fair share of. I'm personally not bothered by the idea of microtransactions as long as the items offered are merely cosmetic and if it's within reasonability to acquire said items in-game without paying a single dime. So far, from what I experienced, games with microtransactions tend to have a hard fucking time following through with that last point, look at Street Fighter V, and more often than not, the games drip feed in-game currency to persuade you into spending additional money for something like that golden piece of armor, or in CTR's case, a go-kart with glowing lights. When it comes to something like Fortnite, a game that's free to play at base, you can make the argument that microtransactions are somewhat a necessity because, well, the game has to make money somehow and the developers gotta get paid. But in the case of something like Overwatch or Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled, you're already paying for the game up front. Not full price, yes, Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled is sold at $40, but this, I feel, is ultimately something that this game didn't need, and at first it didn't. CTR Nitro-Fueled didn't have microtransactions at launch, but it was said during pre-launch interviews that there was no plans to have them included, but lo and behold, 1 month after release, when other publishers and reviewers already praised the game, Activision goes and adds them in because they just couldn't help themselves, and that was an incredibly shitty move. You know, as shitty as the idea of loot boxes are in games like Overwatch, at least they were there from the start, which enabled you to factor that into your consideration of buying the game. But then you got scenarios like CTR, and it's like, why was this done? This game was fine enough without this. It already has a fine enough business model with added content being added later, much akin to Splatoon. You got this Grand Prix that rewards players for fulfilling daily challenges, weekly challenges, completing certain objectives, and with enough playtime, you're rewarded with plenty of extras like car skins, added decals, and more characters like Nina Cortex. In fact, at the time of this video recording, the game was going through a Halloween theme, and to see the game celebrating the season with spooky attire, to have access to this really cool looking Halloween theme stage, that is great. Assuming you have an internet connection, of course. Grand Prix potentially gives the game a large amount of replayability, a game that was already bursting with tracks to race through, a game that had an adventure mode, arcade mode, a battle mode that also has different battle modes from Crash Nitro Kart. The content's there, it still is, but to try and squeeze more money out of the player, particularly the player who might feel compelled to invest more money because they don't feel like doing Grand Prix or because they play online, see this racer rocking a cool costume and car, and they think to themselves, oh man, I really like that right about now, and here's Activision like, well, you can get it right now for a price. That is just all kinds of skeevy, and considering there's no way to control what's currently available on the pit stop since items are on a daily rotation, that's shit on top of more shit. There could be something that pops up in the store for a limited time, but you're short on the coins and you don't have the time to play enough of the game to amass the coins needed, and there they are, just tempting you. And I know the mere existence of these are why certain things in the shop are so expensive and why Wumpa coin payouts are so wildly inconsistent. They want more of your money, there's just no doubt about it. I can easily recommend Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled's base product as is, with all the added content already included, access to local and online multiplayer, and assuming you keep the game online to get those updates, you have a fair share to enjoy, and more coming along the way. But man, does this recommendation come with the biggest fucking asterisk. Outside of unlocking what's available in the game's adventure mode, which has a good amount of things to do as it originally did, unlocking other things like additional carts, skins, stickers, what have you, that could be a major grind, and with how Activision later included microtransactions, this was likely an intentional design to get you to purchase more Wumpa coins. Obviously, if you're not bothered by that sort of thing, then go nuts. The Foundation is still a fantastic remaster of an already fantastic kart racer, but if you're someone with compulsive spending habits, or you got kids that like looking at shiny objects and know how to get your credit card details, well, monitor your kids better for starters, and I'd think twice before picking this one up. Some might think I'm a little too naive for thinking this, but I can only hope this doesn't further taint any upcoming games. We got something good going on here, and shit what Activision pulled post-launch just leaves an incredibly bad taste in my mouth. But I guess we'll see in the upcoming years. Who knows? Well, alright then, I do believe I'm ready to begin my first ever dual marathon. Now basically what that means is that I'll be reviewing two franchises somewhat interchangeably. In one video I'm tackling a game from this franchise, and in the next video I'm tackling a game from the other franchise. I've been meaning to try this out for some time because I realized that not every marathon is everyone's cup of tea, so the least I can do is, switch it up every once in a while to keep things more volatile, so to speak. That said, if you haven't already, my buddy Derrick from Game Explain recently made a video asking folks to help fund his Metroid movie pitch, and so far the GoFundMe has raised over half of its goal, and you guys seriously rock for that. I truly mean that. I would love if we can get one final push to make this a reality, and to make sure the artist for this project is properly paid. Also, just a reminder, my next 24-hour Extra Life Game Day Marathon, the Donkey Konga line, starts this coming Saturday, November 2nd at noon. We're raising money for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. There'll be raffle prizes to give away, including a Sega Genesis Mini, a Nintendo Switch with Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and a copy of Pokemon Sword or Shield with the minimum donations met. It's going to be a great time, going to have lots of family and friends on board. Please stop by and make a donation if you can. Or if you can't, spreading the word is more than enough. Alright then, I'll see you guys at the beginning of the next marathon, and then afterwards I'll see you guys at the beginning of the next marathon. Thank you all for watching, have yourselves a fantastic night, and take care.